Hi everyone, thanks for watching. Welcome. We're going to be creating 2 cards featuring several new products from Blue Night from their recent mixed media release. Let's get started. These are from the new mixed media release. Okay, we have several different stamp sets here and some new papers. These are the mixed media papers. There are 5 different color designs. You get 20 sheets altogether, and you get 5 cards with 4 designs, and then the backs are all green, so that's your 5th design. We have the Hope stamp set. We have the mixed media numbers stamp set. These are photopolymer stamps, so they're clear. This set is called Reverse Sentiments. It is a red rubber stamp, and the sentiments are on this reverse. You can stamp these with black or any other color ink that you would like. You can see there are a lot of sentiments in this set. So I'm just showing you a few of the stamp sets from the new release today, and the beautiful paper. I'll go ahead and open this and show you how pretty it is. It reminds me of a watercolor. If you were to watercolor, especially this purple, pink, and blue. So as you can see, you get 5 cards of each of the 4 designs. This one is the green and the blue. Next we have this darker blue with brown. And then finally, there are 2 more colors to look at, the orange and yellow. And then on the back is your final color, which is the green and the browns. And that's on the back of each. So that's really cool. It's basically double-sided paper. And these are great for stamping on, and we are going to use one of these to create our first card. I'm also going to use the previously released Silhouette Tree and Eagles and the background stamp Tell Me the Story of Jesus. At least that's how I'm going to use it, as a background stamp. First thing I'm going to do is use a piece of this mixed media paper. I'm using the light green and light blue background paper, and I'm going to stamp Tell Me the Story of Jesus onto this. I am using archival ink. I'm using the magnetic ink pad holder from Blue Night, which I highly recommend that you get this, especially if you're using like archival ink. This gives you a better grip on your ink pad. Okay, we'll go ahead and stamp this up. And then we're going to stamp it off on a piece of just copy paper, because I'm looking for this text to sort of be in the background. And so by stamping it off once, just taking away a little bit of the ink. So I'm still getting the nice words in the background, but it's not necessarily going to be as prominent. Because with mixed media, you're adding several different sort of layers of stamping. You'll see what I mean here in a minute. Now I'm going to take the tree from the Silhouette Tree and Eagles, and this is going to be sort of like the focal point of my card. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp this with my ink. We want to get a good dark impression of this. Sorry, I did switch inks here. I switched to the Catherine Puller Midnight ink. It's a really good ink with red rubber stamps, And I need a refill for my archival ink. And so I figured I would use the Catherine Puller ink. It's a little bit juicier and it'll give me that nice dark impression that I would like to have. It did pretty good except for the center. So I'm going to grab my archival ink and just try to get that center to be a little bit darker. Okay, now let's go ahead and stamp the eagle. This is from the Silhouette Tree and Eagles stamp set. I just grabbed one of the eagles. I stamp it a couple times to get a nice dark impression. I have the clear stamp, the word hope, from the Hope Sentiment set. These are photopolymer stamps, so Blue Night has never had these photopolymer stamps before. I'm going to use Versafine Clair Nocturne ink, and it's nice to have the sentiments clear on a clear stamp. You can see better where you're positioning them. But I like the red rubber stamps because they do show a lot of great detail. And more stamp companies are getting away from the red rubber stamps. So the fact that Blue Night has red rubber stamps, that's great. If you ever get a chance, you should go to one of their stamp shows. Oh, by the way, these are the mixed media numbers. And I'm going to stamp the number 965 down in the left-hand corner. I'm going to turn it just like I turned the word hope. And then there's two stars that come with the mixed media number set, a large star and a small star. So I have the small star in the top right-hand corner. And again, I have the number 965 down in the left-hand corner. This mixed media stamp set comes with several different numbers. Mixed media numbers set, sorry. Now I'm going to take and stamp that star with a little bit hanging off the side. And then finally I'll stamp it again in the top right-hand corner. This is called the rule of three, keeping those three elements close to balance it out. Okay, so I'm just going to trim this down with my trimmer, and I'm going to put a piece of black cardstock behind it as a mat, and then it'll fit on an A2 size card, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I am going to stamp something down in this bottom right hand corner. I'm going to use a piece of Post-it note paper to mask so that I don't get ink on what's already there. Anyways, I'm just trying to create a solid line at the bottom. I didn't want to add more, just a solid black line. And then I grabbed this little applicator tool. It's sort of like a cosmetic sponge, which you would use to apply like eye makeup. And I'm just going to take and fill in that archival ink so it's nice and dark. And then I had a little boo-boo, so I'm fixing it by adding some more archival ink. No, I'm sorry, Catherine Puller ink. Now I'm just trimming down the card panel. I'm going to have a black piece of cardstock. I'm going to mat that behind the card panel, and then I'll be able to adhere everything to an A2 size card, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. By the way, I will have in the description box below all the products that I used today. So stay tuned to the end. I will have some still photos of the cards that I created. And this is card number 1. This would be a good time for me to ask you to please give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment. This is going to help me to grow my channel. I would love to reach a milestone by the end of this year and have 5,000 subscribers. So if you're new, would you please click the subscribe button and click the bell, and that way you'll be notified of when my future videos post. Okay, now we're going to switch to another card, and I'm going to be stamping using this Versafine ink. This is just a regular Versafine ink. I am using my magnetic ink pad holder from Blue Knight, and I am going to be stamping this stamp. It's called God's Promise on some watercolor paper. The watercolor paper is from Northwood's rubber stamp. Okay, and then we're going to stamp that a couple times to get a nice dark impression. And then we're going to grab my Tim Holtz watercolor pencils, and we're going to go ahead and watercolor this beautiful stamp. I love this stamp. It's one of my favorites. And I just fast forwarded to the end of my watercoloring, because basically it's just me watercoloring using the Tim Holtz watercolor pencils. Using the artist lines as my guide, using my glass media mat at the end here to create a watercolor wash. So basically I'm taking some of that color, putting it down on that glass mat, adding water so that I'm diluting it. I'm also going to take some of that and create some clouds in the background. Okay, I have some still photos of the cards that I created. I want to say thank you so much for checking out my video today. And again, please, I ask you to click the like button, which is the thumbs up, and leave a message and let me know what you think about these cards that I created. I really appreciate you spending the time to do that. Again, I'm trying to grow my channel, and that certainly helps whenever you hit the like button and leave a comment. And here's a photo of the finished cards. Card number 1 is the one that used the Hope sentiments from the Hope mixed media. And then card number 2 did use one of the Hope's sentiments. I'll read to you what it says. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. From Hebrews 11, verse 1. All right, everybody, that's all I have for today. Thanks so much for watching. Have a hopeful day. Bye-bye.